Welcome to Magic Mondays with Maria. This is a new content series for marketing leaders. And the idea is to tackle a pain point or a challenge that marketers face in every episode. And today I'm super excited to have the amazing Elisavet join for the first ever episode. Hello.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. It's really exciting. And today I want to talk to you about how you and your team produced 270 blog posts in around 4 months, which is insane numbers. And also the concept of growth journalism, because I don't think many are familiar with that term. But before we get ahead of ourselves, could you briefly introduce yourself?
Of course. So I'm Elisavet. I'm part of the team of GrowthMentor, where I handle marketing and operation. For those who don't know, GrowthMentor is a one-on-one online mentoring platform that connects vetted mentors with mentees on marketing, product, and startup topics. My background is in general marketing and business development, where I work with several startup companies in the digital healthcare industry in the past, and I'm really happy to be here with you.
If anyone doesn't know GrowthMentor, they should definitely check it out. I am a happy user, and I'm not just saying that. I actually love GrowthMentor. But could you give a quick rundown of this project where you produce so much content in so little time? I think content creation, also content creation at scale, is a huge topic for many marketers, just like producing a lot of content also as a lean marketing team. You've been there, so maybe you can tell us a bit about the project.
Yes. Of course. So this project, Growth Journalism, is one of my favorite projects in GrowthMentor. We ran it last year in nearly the beginning of 2024. It was a concept that it was brought up from our Foti, our founder, because so that many people have started posting on LinkedIn about their insights and tips. Everybody saw this growth of personal branding, and we want to give to our audience something unique, something that will be really useful to them, which usually comes through real experience and stories from other people. So this is how the growth journalism started on one hand. And then on the other hand, because one of our customer audience are founders, we wanted to reach more eyeballs from founders. And one thing that we could do that is from accelerators. So we thought, hey, how about to get the stories from the founders who have joined some of the most well-known accelerators? So that's how everything started.
I think that's genius, to be honest. So you want to reach more founders, you go interview founders, they share the stories with their story with their network, right? So you reach more and more people through that. So you did interviews with founders who went through accelerators, am I right?
Yeah, so we jumped on calls, used a transcription tool, and then we had this transcription to turn it into a blog post. Before we proceed to the process and how we did that, this was a win-win situation because we created for free for them a blog post in a site that ranks really well in Google. So that was one good thing for them. And then also we built some relationship with them. And because as a platform, we promote a lot the relationship building, that was one huge thing that was driven from our values and kind of rules that we have within the platform.
So they got more visibility, the founders, like what they got from you is more visibility and recognition for their efforts of going through this accelerator. And maybe you also gave them like a discount code or something for GrowthMentor to try it, or yeah.
We sent to them a little gift for their time. That included a free session and a whole month at GrowthMentor.
What was maybe like, if you were to reflect on the process of doing this series, doing this project, what was maybe the biggest challenge you faced with your team? How many are you in the team as well? Just some context.
Yeah. The people who were involved daily in this project, we were around 6 people. 2 people, we were leading the whole process. We were conducting the interviews, and then we were supervising the rest of the process. And then we had some virtual assistants, who help us with 2 parts. First part is to create a list with the contacts of the founders and their emails from the website of the accelerators. So we had two virtual assistants who were doing this job. And then we had two others that were focusing on building the blog posts by using, of course, ChatGPT, the new tool that came to our lives.
So it's helped you save a lot of time, probably ChatGPT. You developed your own prompts.
That's right, because as you mentioned at the beginning, we conducted around 270 interviews, and all of these were turned into blog posts. So you can imagine it is a huge work, even with ChatGPT. And yes, we created like detailed guidelines for all the virtual assistants, and with some prompts that we have tested by ourselves and then share them with the virtual assistants.
And if you were to estimate, how many hours did it take per week of your team members?
From the core team, which is the two people, I think it was like a daily thing for us. We dedicated our time mostly there during the whole week.
So you were really focused on them. Maybe you can tell us how you managed to stay so focused on this project, because I know, especially for startups, you get pulled into a million different directions, right? And it's really hard to focus on one big thing and not get like sidetracked by other flashy projects that you could be doing, because you could always be doing more, right? So maybe you can give us a few tips on how you stayed on track, maybe like keeping to your OKRs and pushing forward.
Of course. It's what you mentioned. It's really important. Keep control of your OKRs and continue to track them to see how the project is evolving. And another thing that I will say is to prepare really well the process behind and use automations, and also have in this amount of content, because it's a lot, like have specific people doing a specific job and have ownership in this. So we used a project management tool that is called Coda. It's similar to Notion, because I know that you are a Notion fan. Yeah, it's a bit the way we worked. We created some stations and people could track their tasks, and we use automation to populate each person's task on one specific tab. So not everybody could stay on track. And, once you update the status, for example, of the task, then the rest of the automations change and it moves on to the next stations. This is a good way that we kept in track. And this is also how we managed our OKRs. Because while we were moving the status, the OKRs were updated automatically. So we didn't need to do a manual work in order to update them.
Wow, I'm very impressed. I would love to see the setup with automations. Yeah. I think setting up those like big projects initially also takes like, obviously a lot of brain work, a lot of like, you need to think through the whole process even before you have done it, kind of. I mean, a lot of documentation also comes after you did the first interviews, right? But still like the bulk of it. So it must have been
because
fascinating setup.
One thing is a tip that I will suggest is like be comfortable to change, operations and the process many times if you see that something doesn't work, because this is what we did. I mean, we had around 2 or 3 weeks that we were continuing updating some parts of the process until we reached the stage that we were comfortable that let's escalate it. And this is the point where we hired the virtual assistants as well, when we have finalized the process. Because before we were doing this stuff on our own to check what works and what doesn't.
I think that makes total sense. Also to check how time-consuming it is to do each phase. That's also something I like to do. Like I'm working with SEO freelancers, and before, of course, hiring them, we first did everything ourselves, and then I track time to see how long does it take to write a 3,000-word article. I could, set realistic expectations for the freelancers as well. So I think that's super important. I'm very curious. Were there any surprises along the way? Some things you did not expect to happen that happened?
One thing that it's a bit fun is that it's not very part of the process, let's say, but it was replies from some founders that we got that they were very suspicious about what we're doing, or they were asking us if we're doing that with the accelerator. Some of them were fine that we didn't, because we replied honestly, like, no, this is a separate initiative that we're doing as a company. But some of them were very restricted, and it makes sense sometimes because, these people supported you. So you don't want to something that it's against of them. So that was one.
They were skeptical, they were kind of suspicious if you're affiliated with an accelerator that is like a competitor. Okay.
What also surprised me positively is that we had a really good open rate and positive replies. For example, almost 90% of the replies that we got were positive, and the open rate was around 50%, which compared to cold outreach, it has worked much, much better.
And for the initial message, was it like very casual, just like, hey, we're doing this series?
Yeah, it was like that. It was, hey, we're doing this series. We want to get your insights to help other founders, and that we will turn this into a blog post. And actually, Foti has created an amazing blog post about journalism. So I can share it, and we can add it also in the comments for people to check it out, because it includes details about the tools, screenshots of the tools and the process, the mess. So I think it's a good source.
Reflecting back on this project also, is there anything you would have done differently? Like, is there anything that could have been optimized now that you know you have done it before?
Yes, I think what I would like to optimize personally is how we could manage to improve the conversion rate, because even though it was a good for our SEO and ranking, because we got some really good organic search numbers in the first month, it was good for mostly like awareness. So not many founders turned into paid customers. So I would like to improve this part and see how we could do it better.
What are you thinking? What could have made the difference? I'm just, brainstorming. What could be done to increase the conversion rate? Email sequences, follow-ups?
I think it would be like follow-ups after, because we did a round of contact with them and then we stopped. So one thing could be to, follow up with them after a few months. And then I would also recommend to try more and approach accelerators themselves and be like, hey, we talk with these people from your accelerator. Our tool might be interesting for your members to use it as part of your program. So this approach might have worked much better as well, like in the end. Or speak directly with accelerators.
Speak directly with them to promote GrowthMentor through them, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Are you planning to continue with the series, like to target other groups of people?
Mm-hmm. At the moment, no, but we do have some things in mind that we haven't tried yet in the same concept. And let's see, maybe from the new year, I would guess.
It's incredible what you were able to achieve in such a short period of time. It was like a joint effort plus great planning and documenting of the processes. And it's just, really cool. I mean, even if you didn't maybe reach all of your goals or as you expected potentially, like you still are ranking super high on Google for relevant keywords. People are finding Growth Mentors through those keywords. And it was a really interesting bet, right? To go after this project and just give it your all for a period of 6 months.
That's true.
Right.
And as a platform, we have noticed that sometimes people will learn about Growth Mentor, might be not the right time for them to join, and they might join like a month ago or even years ago. So we have noticed that. So you never know.
I've also noticed, with my work as well, the sales cycles can be super long. I can post something and then, 6 months later, 1 year later, someone may reach out and say, okay, I remember you. I have a problem now. Maybe one of the founders is struggling with a specific topic and they need help. So they will go to GrowthMentor.
I totally agree with you. We sometimes, don't give a lot of attention to awareness. We focus, only to conversions, which it's the end goal, of course, but I think awareness helps a lot. Yeah. Because you plant the seed and then it will grow.
Yes. I find it also very hard in, B2B marketing to find the space and the time for awareness and also justifying, doing like awareness type activities to leadership as well. So I think, that was a really, really good idea. And I'm sure people will think of you further down the line. Just curious, what channels are you focusing on now, like currently at this stage?
Right now, in terms of social media, we are a lot LinkedIn focused. So we We focus there, most of our content we posted there. And then we are doing some, Google ads, Facebook ads, and LinkedIn ads.
So next episode will be what Elisavet knows about LinkedIn ads. Well, thank you so much for your time and for sharing all of your knowledge and about this project. And I'm really glad we did this.
Me too. Thanks.
So to the people watching this, I hope you enjoyed it, and also stay tuned because we have a lot of other talented, incredible marketers joining over the next couple of months. So very excited for that.
So much, Maria. I'm very happy that I'm the first guest, and I'm looking forward to your next episodes.
Thank you.
Bye bye.